Language is one of the most beautiful gifts we receive as children. It helps us express what we feel, what we need, and who we are. But what happens when a child learns not just one, but two languages at the same time? Today we will share with you a topic that is close to the hearts of many Filipino families, the language acquisition, exploring the development of English and Bisaya in early childhood. Language acquisition is how we understand and use words and sentences to communicate with others. This starts from the time a baby hears their first words. They learn how words sound in phonology, how they are formed in morphology, how to make sentences in syntax, and what words mean in semantics. In the Philippines, many children grow up hearing both English and Bisaya at home, at school, and in the community. Researchers have found that kids who grow up with two languages can become really good at both, as long as they get enough practice and support. Things like how often parents speak one language at home or what language is used in their surroundings can really make a big difference. This study looks at how young minds learn and use both languages. We will explore how children speak, understand, and combine English and Bisaya, and how parents and their environment help shape this learning. As we explored the journey of children learning both English and Bisaya, let us remember, language is not just a way to speak. It is a way to connect. It brings people together, help us share our thoughts, and builds a bridge between different cultures and communities.
In this section, we will discuss the review of related studies.
The development of English and Bisaya in early childhood involves complex interactions between linguistic transfer, bilingual exposure, and environmental factors. In this study showed that Cebuano Bisaya phonology and syntax often lead to interference in English acquisition, particularly in subject-verb agreement, verb tense, and pronunciation. For instance, phonological differences may cause miscommunication in English intonation and stress patterns.
This study is directly relevant to exploring Bisaya language acquisition in early childhood, providing insight to the early stages of language development and the nuisance of Bisaya acquisition through language innateness and social cultural factors, where the child's linguistic and communicative input are derived from environmental sounds and adult speech. Garcia, 1985, discussed the cognitive development of bilingual children and its implication for early childhood education, reviewing research on dual language acquisition processes, the influence of multiple language acquisition, the role of social context, and the relationship between intelligence, cognition, and bilingualism. Moreover, Somblingyo and Rico Hermoso 2019 examined the first language L1 and the second language L2 proficiency of Bisaya learners, aiming to determine the relationship between proficiency in the two languages using descriptive qualitative correlational design with third grade students. This study is particularly relevant, focusing on Visa learners under L1 and L2 proficiency in a school setting, which connect to the educational aspect of early childhood language development, revealing similar proficiency level in both languages and strong positive correlation between them.
Additionally, Manto and Hermosela 2024 investigate Cebuano-Visayan linguistic interference in student school publication corpora, utilizing qualitative content analysis to compare Cebuano-Visayan and English. This is directly addressing the interaction between Cebuano-Visayan or Bisaya and English, focusing on linguistic interference in areas such as subject-verb agreement, verb tense, and the use of presuppositions, pronouns, and articles, thus providing valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities in English language acquisition among Visaya speakers.
In this section, we will going to discuss about the problem statement of the study.
Bilingual acquisition process of English and Bisaya involves specific developmental patterns shaped by cognitive processes and social context. This research seeks to explore the developmental patterns of English and Bisaya in young children, determine significant linguistic features learned at various stages, and evaluate the influence of environmental factors on bilingual language development. The results will advance a more complete picture of bilingual acquisition in an environment where two languages with different structures are continually developed, and it will provide insights for educators, linguists, and parents facilitating bilingual language acquisition.
This study used a qualitative research design focusing exclusively on the observation method to explore bilingual development among children. Systematic and immersive observation are conducted in home environment to capture natural. In collecting a data, the natural language interactions between family members will be the main focus of this observational study, which will be conducted inside. The observer will record social dynamics, communication styles, and language use, including vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Details like time, location, participants, and particular linguistic traits will all be noted in the journal or log, where the observations are kept. The information will shed light on patterns of language use, development, and interaction in home.
In this section, the researcher will discuss the findings of the study.
Kids who speak Bisaya and English show both strengths and challenges. Bisaya influences their English grammar and pronunciation, leading to mistakes like omitted articles or mix-up verb tenses.
Consistent exposure and balanced use of languages are key to confident bilingualism. Support from family, teachers, and communities is crucial for bilingual development, helping kids become skilled and confident speakers in both languages.
And we will discuss the analysis of our study. The study explored the bilingual language acquisition of English and Bisaya or Cebuano among young children in Philippines, focusing on how phonological, syntactic, and semantic elements of both languages interact during early development. The findings highlight that children often exhibit strong bilingual capabilities but also experience cross-linguistic interference, especially when Bisaya structures influence English usage. Common errors include incorrect verb tenses, omission of articles, and misused preposition, phenomena supported by Manto and Hermosilla 2024 study. These linguistic overlaps underline the complexity of learning two structurally distinct languages simultaneously, emphasizing the need for consistent and balanced exposure to both languages. Environmental and social factors emerge as pivotal in shaping bilingual proficiency. Children's language skills are deeply influenced by their linguistic surroundings, ranging from household interaction to community language practices. Studies like those by Bilingual 2020 and Genesis 2017 reveal that parental involvement, caregiver modeling, and naturalistic conversation significantly enhance language acquisition. While Commons interdependence hypothesis supported by Sumblingo and Rico Hermoso 2019 suggests that strengthening the child's first language, which is Bisaya, fosters better acquisition of the language acquisition, which is English, validating the importance of nurturing the home language alongside instruction in English. Ultimately, the study underscores that successful bilingual development is not merely a cognitive feat but also a social and cultural one. Children thrive linguistically when immersed in environments that validate and support both languages. Schools and families must work collaboratively to integrate Bisaya and English in meaningful, supported ways through reading, speaking, and media exposure. By normalizing bilingualism across contexts, children can develop linguistic confidence and competence, benefiting from the cognitive flexibility, cultural richness, and communication skills that bilingualism offers.
Language development in early childhood is a natural process, but it is also shaped by the environment where the child grows up. In countries like the Philippines, where many children grow up learning two or more languages, this development becomes more complex. Children in the setting often hear their first language, such as Bisaya, at home, while learning a second language like English at school or in the community. This situation can offer both benefits and challenges to young learners. This study focused on a child from Davao who was learning to speak Dabawenyo Bisaya. The research showed that the child's language growth came from two main sources: natural ability called innateness and the environment. The child had inner ability to learn language, but they also needed input from adults, such as parents and caregivers. Adults help by talking, reading, and responding to the child's words. Everyday sounds and conversation in the child's surroundings also help shape language development. According to the study, modeling which hearing adults use proper language and imitation, which copying what others say, were shown to be very important. These practices help child develop vocabulary, grammar, and speaking confidence. Other important factors were cognitive skills, how the child thinks and learns, emotional support like encouragement from adults, and performance from the child's ability to use language in different situations. However, the child also made common errors such as mispronounced words or incomplete sentences. These mistakes are normal at this stage and part of the learning process. They show that language learning takes time and patience.
Further evidence was provided by Somblingo and Rico Hermoso 2019, who explore on how Bisaya-speaking children learn English. Their findings show a strong positive connection between first language as Bisaya skill and second language as English skills. In other words, children who were good at Bisaya were also more successful at learning English. This follows the interdependence hypothesis by Jim Cummins, which says that a solid foundation of first language helps in learning a second language. They show the importance of supporting both languages, Bisaya and English, from an early age. If children are strong in their home language, they will likely become a better bilingual speakers over time. Another study by Manto and Hermosilla 2014 investigates how the Bisaya language affects how children speak English. They found a clear example of language interference where rules from Bisaya are applied to English. This leads to errors such as incorrect subject-verb agreement, example, she go instead of she goes, wrong verb tenses, or confusion in using preposition like at, on, and in, and pronouns. These are not just mistakes, they show that children is using what they know from their first language to try and understand the second. This is a natural part of bilingual development, which the right guidance from teachers and parents, this can be turned into learning opportunities rather than barriers. Studies show that the family, school, and community must work together to help children become successfully bilinguals. At home, parents can support both languages by talking regularly with a child, reading books in both Bisaya and English, and showing positive attitudes about being bilingual. In school, teachers should respect and build in the child's home language, not ignore it. Using both Bisaya and English in lesson can make the child feel more confident and capable. Beyond the home and school, the wider community also contributes to bilingual development. Exposure to both Bisaya and English in local media, public events, and religion services and social gathering reinforces the normality and the value of being bilingual. Children benefit from seeing both languages used in their life, which help build pride and confidence in their linguistic abilities.
To summarize, the existing research underscores the intricate interplay of factors influencing bilingual language acquisition in early childhood, particularly concerning English and Bisaya. Studies such as those by Manto and Hermosilla of 2024 highlight the phenomenon of linguistic interference, where the structures of Bisaya impact English language production, leading to common errors in grammar and pronunciation. Conversely, research by Somblingo and Rico Hermoso in 2019 suggests a positive correlation between proficiency in Bisaya and English, supporting Kuhlman's interdependence hypothesis and emphasizing the importance of fostering a strong foundation in the first language to facilitate second language acquisition.
Additionally, fostering successful bilingualism in children requires a holistic approach that values and supports both language within the home, school, and community. As Genesis 2017 suggests, consistent exposure and balanced use of both languages are crucial for development developing strong bilingual confidence and good switching abilities. By creating supportive environments that recognize the unique challenges and opportunities presented by bilingual language development, educators, parents, and community members can empower children to become confident and proficient bilingual speakers, leveraging the cognitive and social benefits associated with multilingualism.